Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're back to Fate Reforged Swiss drafts, and a commenter just said I open Rally of the Ancestors more than anybody else, and I would say, considering they said that the last draft, which I did open a Rally of the Ancestors in, and I just opened another Rally of the Ancestors, that maybe there's some merit to what they're saying. I think the pick here is Valorous Stance. I think this card is pretty amazing. I mean, granted, it doesn't kill as much stuff as Reach of Shadows, but Reach of Shadows doesn't also give a creature you control indestructible until end of turn, and doesn't cost 2 mana. So, in my opinion, those two things come together. I think Valorous Stance is an amazing card. I love that it's removal or protection. It's great versatility. Yes, we're passing Reach of Shadows. We're also passing Sandstep Outcast, which I would love to have. But I think we're just going to take the Valorous Stance and see what's up next. All right, well, we're passing Arcbond, which is a pretty amazing card. I mean, I could stay on color and just take the Soul Summons, but Arcbond is super powerful. I think I just want to take that. That's got to be the most powerful card in here for sure. Heel Cutter in here as well, which I would like. And hopefully table Humble Defector, because I would take that to pair with the Arcbond. I don't think Soul Summon's going to table, but I guess there's a chance. And Collateral Damage likely tables, and is probably a fine pick. On the wheel. On the wheel, that is. All right. Ooh. Well, third pick Pyrotechnics. I think we're going to slam that. Really don't have to look at too much else. There was a draft where I picked Reach of Shadows over Pyrotechnics, and I think the only reason that's wrong, if I may justify my poor decision making at that time, that was before I knew how fast Fate Reforged sped up the format. I actually don't think Reach of Shadows is that much worse than Pyrotechnics in a triple Cons of Tarkir draft. Like, I know that neither of these cards would be in a triple Cons of Tarkir drafts, but if we were to say that Pyrotechnics and Reach of Shadows were in Cons, and this were a triple Cons draft, I do actually think Reach of Shadows would be better. And that's only because it was a slower format and you had some bigger fatties, and the instant speed actually matters in that case. But, talked enough. Definitely taking Pyrotechnics here. Passing another Sandstep Outcast, which breaks my heart, but does not break my heart that we're getting a Pyrotechnics after an Arcbond. That is pretty awesome. All right, well, the picks continue to flow. I think we're going to take the Goblin Heel Cutter here. I'm not even necessarily married to this Valorous Stance at the moment. I'll take all the red cards that are good, that are willing to be passed, because Heel Cutter is certainly better than Soul Summons. And there's a Collateral Damage in here, which, who knows, maybe that tables too. We do seem to be getting past very good red cards at the moment. Another Heel Cutter? Really? Just non-stop great cards? I will take it. Continuing to pass me good red cards, which I love to take. Heel Cutter is certainly better than Goreswine. Goreswine has better synergies with Barrage of Boulders and any Ferocious card, but Heel Cutter is nasty, nasty good. Just an amazing card. Okay. Finally, the picks become more reasonable. Okay, so we're looking at... I'm fine with Dragon Bell Monk. I actually like that card quite a bit. Certainly not going to take Shrieker here unless I want to make another mono red. But I don't need to make mono red. I think I'm much more inclined to make two color than a mono color. Mono colors were fun decks, and they're, you know what, they're fine. I just don't like limiting myself that much. I don't think two color is that difficult to make work. There's a Muck Draggers in here, which is arguably the best card. Maybe Grim Contest is the best card, but I think we're just taking the Monk. I did say I don't have to marry this Valorous Stance, which is true, but with double Heel Cutter, Muck Draggers doesn't seem all that appealing, and I don't think it's even possible to make the, well, I shouldn't say not possible, but it's not likely that I would want to play the Grim Contest with with some red cards. It doesn't really make all that much sense to me. Okay, here's a pretty easy Mardu Scout. Which, especially if we end up in two colors, is going to be a pretty nice pickup. But I do have to say the red cards are flowing pretty nicely here. Okay, interesting. I think I'm actually going to take Bloodfell Caves here. Mardu is a potential route I can go, and I'm not really giving up anything I care about. Dragon Rage, admittedly, I haven't played it. It's probably pretty good in a mono red, but I feel like the Caves is the right choice here, especially if I do end up dipping out of white. I may go into black. maybe black-red. But even if I end up in Mardu, I'm going to want this. All right, Rage Form tabling's pretty awesome. Fits our curve nicely as well. Can you imagine if I Rage Form a Heel Cutter and then flip that bad boy up? That would be sick. All right, hey, table the Humble Effector, which is weird because we didn't table the collateral damage, which I would have expected someone to take before, or after rather, the Humble Effector, but happily taking a Humble Effector here, which is a good card. Teamer Battle Rage seems fine. Some late Grim contests, but I have noticed Grim contests go really late. I mean, it's pretty specific what you have to be in. Black-green. I mean, you're still open to both Sultai and Abzan, but it does still seem pretty color specific. There's also a Skirmisher in here, but we're not likely to be a Warrior deck, so I think I'm just going to slam this Teamer Battle Rage pretty happily. Okay. Just in case we end up in Jeskai, now I guess I can take the Cunning Strike, which is a fine card. Not really impressed by any of these. Maybe I want the Hooded Assassin if the black thing pans out. Because I still don't really think I'm playing a Skirmisher, although I guess I'm not likely to play either of those. Maybe it's just the Assassin's the best card remaining out of that pack, so I'm the most comfortable taking it. Well, I got to admit, we're kind of on route to be basically mono red. We were getting past pretty amazing red cards there, and we were wheeling stuff like Humble Defector and Lightning Shrieker. Maybe I do mono red again. I don't know. There's certainly giving me incentive to do so, I have to admit. I would have actually really liked those collateral damages with the Humble Defector. You get to activate the Humble Defector ability, draw the 2 cards while it's on the stack. You get to, while that draw 2 cards ability is on the stack, you get to sacrifice it and continue to draw the 2 cards. And they don't get control of him because he's dead. So it's pretty nice little synergy you get out of that. Okay, follow-up pick. Well, I like Deflecting Palm, but there's a pretty good chance it wheels if there's something more impressive here. Yeah, I probably just want the Kieran. I think Deflecting Palm will table, and I'll take it then. Pretty good cards in green, but that is not on color for us. So I think we're just going to take the Alabaster Kieran and perhaps continue with our red-white shenanigans. Possibly not needing this Cunning Strike. We'll just set it inside for now. Hooded Assassin as well. If I see a Mardu rare that motivates me, I probably play it. Okay, Kieran number 2 seems fine. It's also a Summit Prowler. Kieran has evasion though. Summit Prowler works better if I end up mono red. Do I even want to play mono red? Well, I got to admit, the white cards I have now aren't like super amazing. Guess I can take Summit Prowler. I mean, Kieran's a better card, but like I said, I guess if I end up in mono red, I'd probably prefer to have the Prowler. Though maybe I table the Prowler and I just take the Kieran now. Take the evasiveness. I kind of like potentially building something that can play Barrage of Boulders or something that works better with Teamer Battle Rage, like the Prowler. I'm going to take Prowler, actually, just on a hunch that even if I'm not trying to build mono red, maybe we end up in mono red anyway. All right, well, that's a pretty good black card in Murderous Cut. We do have Bloodfell Caves, but maybe we're looking at the Horde Chief here. Granted, it's not red, but there are no red cards here we care about. All right, let's just take the Horde Chief. Play it safe again. Take a good card. All right, Rough Rider. That's a good reason to be Mardu for sure. I don't know if I want to stretch my mana base. Maybe I would prefer to just take the Bloodfire Expert here, which is really going to make Barrage of Boulders significantly better. And it's a pretty efficient beater. I mean, Rough Rider is certainly a better card, but I feel like I can play Beatdown pretty effectively with this deck. I'm going to go for a red-white. I'm just going to go for a little Borosy build, I think. All right, Leaping Master seems good in the Boros build. There's also Tormenting Voice, Warden of the Eye for the old Jeskai build, but let's just slam this nice 2-drop that can actually activate the ability of. All right, second Summit Prowler seems good. There's another Kieran as well. I kind of want to stick with the Summit Prowlers, though. I think I like them a little bit more in the aggressive beatdown deck, especially since I don't think we're going to have big problems hitting our red mana. And there's still a very small chance we end up mono red, depending on how the next couple packs. Ooh, Jeering Instigator is a very good card. Happy to take it here. I like the Lurkers too, but certainly not as much as Instigator. We could take the Trumpet Blast. I think I'm okay with that. Currently, 3 of our creatures are white, though, which I should be conscious of. I guess we have like 14 creatures, though, including the Rage form. So let's take the Trumpet Blast. Passing a Raider Spoils, which is fine, too. But at this point, mono red is a flowing. And we did table the Deflecting Palm like I said we wanted to. But now I'm a little more inclined to take the Tormenting Voice and just sort of duck out of white completely again. I mean, I did just say that monocolor is sort of, well, what's the word? It's a little bit limiting. Maybe that's the word. It's limiting what you can do with mono red. But the upside is you get to play a bunch of red cards and not have to worry about your mana base at all and not have to worry about playing a ton of lands. There's some good upsides to it. All right, let's take the second Trumpet Blast here, although possibly not needing. I'm just going to cut red cards like crazy. Cut white. Case I need it. So far, 11 creatures. This deck needs more creatures. If it gets more creatures, though, I think we're in pretty good shape in terms of mana curve and all of that good stuff. Yeah, why is it I keep building monocolor decks in this format? It's weird. Even when I'm actively saying I don't want to build a monocolor deck, I still end up building a monocolor deck. I think it's just too tempting to pass up. For now, let's pass or sideboard cards rather that I don't want, like Swift Kick and Blaze Bringer. I don't think there's anything here for us. I'm going to see if Narset's worth anything. I don't think she is. Yeah, she's not worth much. She's only worth a ticket, but you know what? I'm going to take her anyway because, like I said, I'm not really passing up anything here, and I think we're extremely likely to table the Act of Treason. So when building fun decks, I recommend drafting cards of any sort of value. All right, Arc Lightning would be a great pickup here. There's also a Warname Aspirant. I do slightly need creatures more, but there's a chance we table the Warname Aspirant. I don't think there's much of a chance we table this Arc Lightning, so I'm going to take the Arc Lightning. Okay, Canyon Lurkers seems pretty good. Certainly take it. We're in need of creatures. Oh, maybe that's another thing about monocolor. It's pretty easy to draft. You know exactly what you're taking. All right, how many things do we have that actually activate Barrage of Boulders? We have, let's do a count. This one does, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, although the chance of having 8 mana seems highly unlikely. Maybe I just take the Prowler and hope to wheel the Boulders. I actually do think Barrage of Boulders is good, but we already have double Heel Cutter, which is pretty good for evasion, as well as some pretty good burn spells, so let's take the Summit Prowler. All right, War Shrieker seems great for this deck. We have plenty of 3-drops I can get off of it, although I admit the Heel Cutters aren't really cards I can get off of War Shrieker. At least I can, but not easily. But War Shrieker is certainly the pick for this deck. I mean, there's nothing else in this pack for us anyway. Let's see. Just maybe take the best land here. Not really giving up anything. Hate a land from somebody. Interesting. Guess we'll hate another land. Maybe I splash for Cunning Strike in my monocolor deck. Probably not. Let's just take it anyway. In case all the Swiftwater Cliffs table, then maybe I will. That seems sort of like a weird splash. I think our deck looks okay right now, to be honest. It's a 17 land deck. Even though it's monocolor, we have double Tormenting Voice, which I think actually is going to be really helpful in terms of getting flooded and all that jazz. All right, guess we'll take Act of Treason here over the third Trumpet Blast, which seems at this point wholly unnecessary. Hoping to wheel that Warname Aspirant. Are we going to? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I'm actually, rather than take a third Act of Treason effect, which I'm just not convinced this deck needs, I think I'm just going to hate Highland Game, which seems annoying against us because it gains life and blocks early. I build another mono red deck. I just can't get away from them. Actually, a mono red with a couple rares too. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? What did I take over that first Heel Cutter? I think I took the I took the Arc Bond over it, so I don't regret that pick. So Arc Bond is quite good. This deck looks fun. I mean, what do you want? It's mono red. I didn't table the aspirant, unfortunately. So we're gonna be a bit creature light, which makes these trumpet blasts seem awkward. I'm gonna have to come up with a solution for that. All right, let's cut the Trail of Mystery. It's just probably the best card for anybody who's got a bunch of manifest and or morph cards. Blazebringer, I guess I could include in the deck. I've played it before. Much to my chagrin, I have played it before. I think we'll hate the Weapon Master here. Oops. All right, well, looks like we're going to be not short of playables, but playing double Trumpet Blast in a 14 creature deck, which is a bit awkward, but it's not like the end all be all. I think Snowhorn Rider is certainly better. Take the 2-drop here, banner, got it. All right. So I could actually run Blazebringer. I've done it before. I almost want to play Blazebringer over my second Trumpet Blast just because I'd like to have a pretty consistent creature count. There's a chance Blazebringer does some work. It's not a very good card. It does work better alongside double Heel Cutter, I imagine. Yeah, I'm just a little bit uncomfortable running double Trumpet Blast in a 14 creature deck. It seems like too many Trumpet Blasts, to be honest. Let's group stuff separate. Let's move some stuff over. Let's get a better feel for where we're at with this deck. Yes, I am running a Mardu Blazebringer. It has been a long time since I've run a Mardu Blazebringer. All right, like I said, we are a 17 land deck because I need to be able to get to my 4-drops pretty clearly, but Heel Cutters do double as 3-drops in a pinch, which is nice. And don't have to worry about our mana base at all, which is nice. Canyon Lurkers is a 3-drop. So this is what we're rocking at the moment. All right, well, doesn't seem too bad. A little bit creature light in the beginning, but I do like the Tormenting Voices in this deck. I think they're going to help us sort of alleviate slow starts. And I still am pretty comfortable playing 17 lands for the same reason. With double Tormenting Voice, if I'm getting flooded, I can just ditch a land. It really doesn't cost me anything. And this just prevents us from, like, getting mana screwed. Because I would say it's pretty important for our deck to get to at least 4 mana. We got to be able to hit these Summit Prowlers in a timely manner. If we hit them on turn 4, they're nice threats. They are legitimately nice threats to have. All right. Overall, I don't know exactly how highly I want to rank this deck. Probably like, what shall I rank this deck as? What do I think actually realistically what this deck's at? I would probably rate this deck at about, let me think, probably, I don't know, 7? I want to say 7, only because it's monocolor. So our mana base is perfect, right? Absolutely no problems with our mana base. So that gets points for sure. Weak aspects of this deck, we don't have any of the multicolor cards. So like stuff like Snowhorn Rider, all these awesome commons cycle from cons, we're not going to be able to play any of them. Our threats are pretty good. We're weak enough in the beginning where I can't give us comfortably any higher than 7. Because we do have a fair amount of 2-drop creatures, granted. Even Instigator in a pinch, if we've got enough stuff going on, can be played as a 2-drop. Like if I have a Heel Cutter and an Instigator in hand, I might be motivated to play Instigator into Heel Cutter Dash just to start Lava Axing on turn 3. So there is some quick plays we can do with this deck. I think it can perform very well for us, but we shall see how well it performs. So I'm going to run it like this. Oh, I moved everything again. Let me move it back before I take a picture of the deck. But you don't need to see that, so we'll see you round 1.